is a huge misunderstanding in Kenya and probably East Africa as a whole as to what recruitment is.
On The Entrepreneur this week, we talked to Deborah Bitton of KAMAKAZI as she tells us about finding jobs for Kenya's young people.
I was naive. I was new in the industry. I had not done any branding job before.
Then in the second half, we talked to Lucas Kibuchi of Moran Creatives as he sheds more light about the branding industry. Searching for employment is one of the most difficult undertakings performed by new graduates. A no vacancy sign is a common notice in many an establishment. Sometimes though, jobs are available but job seekers are not aware of this. Sensing a potential gap in the market, Deborah Bitton established www.kamakazi.com. The company seeks to link job seekers and companies seeking to recruit. Its formation came about as the community she lived with in the Masai Mara sought employment opportunities from her.
I was working in the Mara. I was working there as a manager, and so I had the problem of staffing in the organization that I was working in. There was always people coming in, so actually mainly Maasai there because I was in the Masai Mara, coming in to ask for work, yet when I really needed staff I couldn't find the people with the right skills. So I identified a gap at that point in time, and then when I moved from management into project management and I set up a new camp, I had to staff the entire camp, and that's when the issue became sort of magnitude that I realise it now that I've been working in recruitment. So I thought this is a real gap in the market. There needs to be an easy way to connect employers to the right kind of talent that they're looking for.
KAMAKAZI was established in April of 2012.
Yeah.
As Deborah explains, her first website did not prove to be a hit due to a lack of proper planning and insufficient market research.
At the start I wanted it to be an online platform, an online linking portal, basically. And it was very much focused at the informal sector as well. So we wanted to have a lot of fundis on there and to have them rated. So I went ahead and built a website. I'm not a technical person, but I built a website with the company based off of other websites that I'd seen. I didn't test the usability. I didn't test whether the sign-up process was intuitive. So I built an entire website that basically didn't work, and was building it for a group of individuals that don't look for work online anyway.
Deborah would go back to the drawing board and relaunch www.kamakazi.com. This time, she hoped to provide small and medium-sized enterprises with talent. The 33-year-old law graduate from the University of Exeter in the United Kingdom realized from an early age that she was more comfortable in the great outdoors rather than making closing arguments in a courtroom.
I think towards the end of my time in management, I realized that I wanted to start my own business. That was what I wanted to do. I'd progressed through a number of different positions. To be honest, the law aspect, I put that aside as soon as I graduated. After graduation, I realized I didn't want to be in a legal profession. It just wasn't right for me. So I then went through a number of different professions, sales, business development, management, and then realized that actually I had quite a good overall type ability. So I wanted to be in a role that would allow me to dip in lots of different aspects of business, which is basically what you do when you're managing a business.
So these are all the people that need to be reference checked.
Yes.
Before venturing into the world of self-employment, Deborah worked in the travel industry for 6 years. Immediately after graduating in the UK, she would work as a sales consultant for Expressions Holidays. Later, she would work for the private travel company as a product manager. She would then move back to Kenya in 2009, where she worked in various capacities in the Mara.
Morning, guys.
By establishing her own recruitment firm, she hopes to right the many misconceptions associated with the industry.
I think that there is a huge misunderstanding in Kenya and probably East Africa as a whole as to what recruitment is, the point of it. Often when we approach clients, they think that recruitment is recruiting people to come and buy their services, not actually recruiting individuals to work within the organization. I think recruitment is also conducted fairly unethically here by a lot of organizations. So for instance, often the job seeker will be charged for part of the process, or their salary will be deducted for the first month. And those sort of practices are things that have been a huge challenge. We don't do that. We charge our clients, if you want good talent, you have to pay for it, just like you do any other asset in your business.
Sorry, will you re-employ him if he applied for the same position?
Since inception, KAMAKAZI has linked thousands of job seekers with gainful employment.
But at the end of the day, our product, if you were, are the job seekers that we work with. They are the ones that are going to get us paid at the end of the day. So we really focus on giving good customer care to them. They are our customers as well. So at every stage of the process, we believe that, even throughout your career, even when you're 10, 20 years experienced, sometimes you don't understand how to go through the process of looking for a new job, interviewing for it, applying for it. So what we believe is that if we can give as much feedback as possible to our candidates, no matter what happens, even if we're not progressing them to the next stage of the process, we give them a reason why, so that at least they can maybe try and work on that, build for the future, understand for next time what they did wrong, how they didn't prepare well enough. So that once that understanding comes, then actually the rest of the process runs very smoothly.
Deborah, who was born and raised in the Masai Mara, believes that nothing beats the feeling of securing employment for a job seeker. Deborah comes from an entrepreneurial family.
I've got 5 siblings. One of them runs his own business. Anyway, my father started his own business. So we've kind of been brought up in that sort of environment. I've got a sister in London who also started her own business. It actually didn't go so well, so she's got it on the back burner. But they've always been very supportive. I think that my family have always just wanted us to do the best and to fulfill our potential. They always knew I was very ambitious, so they got right behind me.
KAMAKAZI utilizes word of mouth, its website, and various search optimization avenues to market itself.
In terms of recruitment process,
the company is also concentrating on business development, whereby various members of KAMAKAZI's staff are assigned specific organizations.
we build really good relationships. So on the job seeker side, my consultants are in touch with all of their candidates the whole time. We often get called about information that the client has given to the candidate, and they respond to us before they actually respond back to their future employer. So we build those great relationships there. On the client side as well, we really focus on client relationship management and trying to offer a good service. So we're constantly in contact with them, asking them how we can improve, what we can do with our services to make our solutions better for them. So good reaction, but really only once we start interacting with them. That first interaction is a little bit of a challenge still. We're now in a situation where they're basically starting all of their interviews, as you know, on Thursday.
Even though Deborah admits there are bad days, she advises that it is important for entrepreneurs to live one day at a time.
Everyone has bad days, but really where we are at this stage has been an accumulation of, I would say, every single day before this. And I think that you have to understand and have faith in the process and know that if you do get up, if you do go to the office, if you do what you're supposed to do that day, if you try and put your heart into it for that day, it might only be for the next 12 hours and then you can go home again and relax. But you have to believe that if you go through that process, that at the end of it, there'll be something great. And I think that we've got to the stage now where we can say that this really is the kind of culmination of the last 4 years, and that in 8 years' time we'll probably say that this space between today and that time was also just those little baby steps that you take each day.
Various sources indicate that the recruitment industry grew by 9.7% last year. Currently, the sector registered a $31.5 billion turnover in 2015. Approximately 634,000 people worldwide were placed through recruitment agencies last year.
It's crazy. I mean, there's so much happening. There's so many companies investing. You've got huge firms from, some of the top executive search firms from the US and the UK trying to penetrate this market. You've got startups, you've got online platforms, you've got traditional recruitment agencies, and they're all battling with an talent and then a talent pool that doesn't quite know how to reach those businesses. So it's like this huge kind of, like I said, like a bubbling inferno. I have no idea how it's gonna pan out, but it's very exciting.
KAMAKAZI currently has 12 employees on its payroll. Most of these are young and energetic. With the integration of the Eastern African community, Deborah is targeting a much wider audience with a unique expansion strategy. So what future plans does Deborah Bitton have for KAMAKAZI?
Okay, so we really hope that we can take the company regional. So that would be within East Africa. We're building a system that hopefully will allow us to have more remote consultants rather than fixed office spaces. So we've got quite a sophisticated online system that tracks our processes, that tracks performance, which my ops team have built for me. And I'm hoping with that we'll be able to have consultants in key areas within the region who really understand that area, who understand the industry sectors within that area and can be operating almost as if they're managing their own businesses. So, getting a good portion of commission based on what they bring in for the business, and us just being a smaller HQ here, able to branch out very easily and scale quickly, but while still providing the same customer service that I explained at the beginning, which is really a winner for us, and that has to continue to run within the model.
Don't go away, the entrepreneur will be right back.